The Australian seafood story started long before any town or port appeared on a map. For tens of thousands of years, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander fishers have harvested the riches of our oceans and inland waterways, building enduring cultural, spiritual and community connections to country. Over time, fishing helped shape the Australia we know today. And as Australia grew, fishing helped build the nation. Coastal settlements became thriving communities. Harbours filled with boats. Generations of families made their living from the water. Fishing fed households through good times and hard times. It created jobs, supported local businesses, and forged the identity of towns right around our coastline.
Fisheries did expand beyond the ability of the stocks to sustain them, and the ability of the economics of fishing to sustain it as well.
A lot of fishermen chasing a lot of fish, a lot of overfished stocks, hardly any attention to bycatch, not really a lot of attention paid to how accurately people were reporting. Anybody who could pay their licence fee got to be a fisherman, and that was pretty much where it started off.
Whenever licences were issued in the early days, there were always too many. And so fisheries managers and politicians were faced with the task of saying, how do we reduce the number of licences? Because quite frankly, there were too many licences taking too few fish.
They weren't making much money, and they decided it actually needed to be more properly managed. Determining the catches properly, monitoring properly, and then enforcing the management actions properly. The introduction of quotas and licensing and all of those things was really, really important. I mean, basically, it got all of the people who actually needed to be in the room, and that was actually a huge advantage. I mean, it was what actually turned a lot of these fisheries around.
Look, without doubt, the Australian regulatory environment is some of the most rigorous on the planet. But that's a good thing. It certainly has built a landscape against which we can be very proud and confident about the quality. The flow-on effect has been from a culinary perspective. So a lot of the care that now goes into the harvesting or growing of our seafood goes all the way through to how it eats. And that's a really important benefit that we have over many, many other jurisdictions around the world.
There's a high demand for our product both at home here as well as abroad. And that demand for seafood has definitely fueled the growth in aquaculture. There's a really diverse aquaculture industry right across Australia.
Port Lincoln were the first to trial ranching of tuna. They recognised the opportunity to maximise that product value. Can we do something different and grow it out, take a smaller fish, make it a bigger fish, a higher quality fish? They developed that ranching methodology in partnership with government and FRDC. FRDC built that science and confidence and ensured that the systems were as efficient and effective as they are today. We are justifiably proud of being number one.
Governments picked up on the need to regulate, and that in a nutshell calls for research to understand how many fish can be taken in a sustainable way and where fishing can take place without damaging the population.
Stock assessment scientists take all of the available information and diagnose, put it through models or other forms of analysis and use it to diagnose the health of the stock. There's been, a lot of advances in automated information generating, electronic logbooks, electronic monitoring, vessel monitoring systems, tagging.
The genetic techniques are actually getting cheaper by the day, whereas all these other techniques for monitoring are getting harder and more expensive by the day.
One of the biggest breakthroughs in stock assessment itself has probably been use of genetics to help us understand stock abundance more directly.
I make a Scampi caviar. Computer AI vision scans the blue eggs. It will remove anything that is not blue, like orange eggs, white eggs, dead eggs. So that's getting automated now, and for 40 years they used to bin it overboard. And now we get for the producer just under 4,000 a kilo. to the wholesaler.
The management strategy evaluation tools I was mentioning before, they're just getting smarter and smarter. The information needs became larger. There was a lot more emphasis on the ecosystem side. The bycatch side became a very strong focus. We can actually do a lot with those whole ecosystem models now that we could not do when all this started off.
Fisheries is not the only activity in the ocean. We've got many marine activities that are often competing in a crowded ocean.
If history teaches us anything, it's that Australia's seafood industries know how to adapt.
Australia has been a leader in fishery science and assessment for many decades. Bringing in that traditional knowledge, that long-term knowledge, is something that we're doing increasingly, particularly in the kinds of models that I do. That relationship, knowing what's connected to what patterns has been seen in the past, are there precedents, what kind of changes?
If you're a fisher or an aquaculture farmer, you've got the most vested interest in making sure that that environment that you're harvesting from is being maintained in a sustainable way. Telling that story and making sure that we build community trust is fundamental to the seafood industry's future.
There's been a lot of really great advances in building climate resilience and climate regime shifts into fisheries modelling and management recently. That's very exciting.
My granddaughter's a year old and I want her to be able to eat seafood, go to the beach, have fun, have a really fulfilling life. I can find the evidence in my work that there is that pathway there, and that's what gives me hope.
FRDC has been fantastic. They play an enormous leadership role in managing all of those different perspectives. They're very, very good at understanding stakeholder needs, bringing warring parties together quite often, recreational versus commercial, conservation versus fishing. FRDC is a master at bringing those groups together in order to find an outcome that suits everybody.
Across the country, fishers, farmers, researchers, Indigenous people, governments and communities are working stronger and harder than ever to solve tomorrow's challenges. The sea feeds us, connects us, inspires us and challenges us. Whatever comes next, one thing remains certain. As long as Australians look to the water, our seafood story will continue.